I make videos like this when I want to give a warning to game collectors. Don't give in to prices like this, ever. Xenoblade Chronicles X, I've always been very aware of its price history, so when I was looking for that nearly non-existent model of the scale unit on eBay, which I do from time to time, listings for the video game appeared. This game has never been close to this price, ever. X was always one of those I'd see for $20 or less, and always think about how amazing that price is for the game. It's more or less a single-player MMORPG, lots of missions and side missions. The world is massive, traveling throughout the world takes forever. Getting your scale helps a bit, but it isn't until you get to a certain point when you can fly around does the world not seem so overwhelming. There is a lot to love about this game. The music, when you compare it to the other titles in this series, it's kind of bad sometimes. In hindsight, it's the black sheep of the series, and it's still locked to the Wii U. Now you may think, well, that exclusivity makes it expensive now. No, it's been exclusive all these years, and only recently, like a month ago, did it raise to these prices, and really, shame on anyone asking for this. So, released in Japan on April 29, 2015, a US port months later on December 4th, it had decent sales with the failing Wii U and all. Worldwide, over 500,000 copies are floating around out there. Reviews were also very positive for the game. Wii U in general, we all know, just kind of died with the Switch being announced, but Xenoblade Chronicles X was always remembered fondly, and with the release of 2, fans that played the game, or not, begged for a Switch port. Monolith Soft, the company behind the series, just would not be able to port such a massive game to the Switch. It's all about time and money. You would think Nintendo would throw these guys a few bones, they're the best thing they have going for them. So out of the Wii U games ported to Switch, there are still a handful of Nintendo titles that have not been ported yet. Nintendo Land, $15, that makes sense, it came packaged with the Wii U. Wind Waker HD, anywhere from $60 to $80. Typical for an exclusive like this. Star Fox Zero, $20. It's exclusive to the Wii U, but I think the cheap price probably reflects on the abysmal reception it received. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, $50 to $80. A niche game, but a fun one. Paper Mario Color Splash, it's anywhere above $60 nowadays, and this is one I have seen steadily rise in price over the years, and I would say this is one you should get in your collection now, before things get any worse. Twilight Princess HD, other than, I don't know, Devil's Third, which sold maybe 3,000 copies in America, kind of justifies the price that game has. Twilight Princess was always one I'd see at this higher price range, and I have no idea why. I mean, it sold decently, but if I had to guess, like Pokemon, Zelda is going to sell always, so people can make a quick buck off it, which is a scummy thing to do. Game & Mario around $170. Well, okay, let's talk about this one for a bit. This game is only played using the gamepad. When some games were ported to the Switch, I didn't enjoy them nearly as much because they lacked the implemented controls with the gamepad. You know, games like Kirby and the Rainbow Curse can work on the Switch with the touchscreen, but something like Game & Wario, it just can't work without those two screens. It also wasn't hyped much when it released, it kind of just came and went. The WarioWare series has sort of a cult following, so there are a few factors to consider for this price. It's a game that probably deserves its own episode in the future for sure. Splatoon and Mario Maker and games like this, they all had sequels on the Switch, so you can't really go back and release the inferior versions, though I still think the first Splatoon is better than 2. An article from RacketBoy.com from August 29th, 2022, so not even a year ago, listed all the expensive Wii U games. And you know what's not on the list? Xenoblade Chronicles X. Let's break down a few potential factors. First, Xenoblade popularity. It's massively popular. Like Fire Emblem, it's a fanbase that didn't really grow until the Switch came around. But yeah, the first game was ported to the Switch, 2 was a huge hit, 3 is critically acclaimed. Shulk being in Smash definitely helped as well, and it's a series that's not going anywhere, so maybe fans are just curious. They want to check out that black sheep of the series. The story is totally separate, and is much more heavily sci-fi influenced. They are a dedicated fan base, and maybe they want the game, even if it means buying a console just for it. Maybe people are just accepting that it will never be ported, so they're buying it now. I have no doubt many people were just waiting for this game to come out to the Switch. But imagine that, maybe more focus on the online aspects. It would be great, but with the team more or less saying it would never happen, well, okay, so it was never flat out said it would never be ported. I was thinking maybe that was announced in the past few weeks or something. That would certainly make the sudden increase make sense. Take an advantage like this, of course. The gamepad is used mainly as a map. It's a useful navigation device. It can also be used as a separate screen, which I loved, but it's nothing essential that would lock it to the Wii U. What else? Well, the Wii U eShop was closed at the end of March, so maybe we're getting somewhere with this. But the game isn't an eShop exclusive, like say Fatal Frame was in the US, and the online features still work. So I don't think that has anything to do with it, but if we go to price charting, that's exactly when the price increased, in March. When searching YouTube and Google in the past few weeks with Xenoblade Chronicles X, nothing newsworthy stands out. I mean, more people seem to be streaming it suddenly. Maybe it's like when the news says snow is coming. It could be a foot or a light dusting, it doesn't matter. People will still run out to the store and stock up on stuff. The eShop is closing. Well, pandemonium time, start buying those Wii U games. I think it's more like, hey, remember the Wii U? Yeah, you all love the Switch and haven't thought of the name Wii U in about 7 years, but with that eShop news, people started remembering, and I guess they're just getting nostalgic for the Wii U, or they want to be a part of something. The eShop closed on this console that died a horrible death, but they want to check it out now. They look up some games for it. Oh, Xenoblade Chronicles X is mentioned a lot on these best of lists, but I don't know, that doesn't seem to be the case with the other Wii U games, so why was it just this one increasing recently? What else could it be? Maybe people are bored with the Switch, want to expand their horizons a bit. Maybe all the recent talk of eShop and Wii U just garnered interest. Maybe people didn't even know this game existed, but started realizing with all the recent news and thought it looked amazing, which it is. That sort of single-player MMO experience is very popular right now, and really no game does it better than this one. Now, these are all good reasons why people are paying attention to the game, but the price increase, I don't know. I would tell anyone out there to not give in to these demands. Just look at the price history. As a side note, I find it interesting I released my Tekken Tag 2 price video back in April last year, and after that the price suddenly just dropped, rightfully so. I would like to think my video helped with that, but it only has 80 views, so I think it's just a funny coincidence. The point is though that these prices will drop. The game isn't going anywhere. Don't feel like you need to play it right now. And, trust me, this is a game you will be sinking hundreds of hours into if you desire. It'll be waiting for you in the future. Plenty of copies exist. Don't give in to assholes like this. Seriously. These prices drop eventually. Hopefully.